Welcome to Make It Make Sense. We are Marlene and Paulina, two research assistants at the Obama Institute for Transnational American Studies at JGU Mainz.
In this podcast, we take you on a deep dive into the world of our study program. Together with guests from all throughout the discipline, we talk about everyday societal topics you might not have guessed are connected to our field.
Join us in making sense of the issues that surround us and, most importantly, have fun listening.
Welcome back to Make It Make Sense.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in again.
Yeah, and we're so excited for today's episode because today we're talking about internationalization. Big word, we know, but we'll get into what we mean by that in just a second.
Yeah, and to make it even more interesting, we decided to bring in a third voice to the show today to provide even more insights beyond what the two of us have to offer, and that's our friend Leah.
Yay! There she is, and this is kind of a novum for us, right? Because we're here with a guest, but unlike in other episodes, it's not a lecture at the OI.
Exactly, but she is a research assistant at the OI and also a master's student in the American Studies program.
Very much also a part of the OI family, as
Absolutely.
we like to say. Right, but before we say anything else, let's stick to our tradition here on Make It Make Sense and let her introduce herself. So,
over to you, Leah.
There you go.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me on this podcast. I'm so excited. Yeah, as already mentioned, my name is Leah, and I'm currently a graduate student in American Studies here at JGU Mainz. And before that, I also completed my bachelor's degree here with a minor in theater studies. And yeah, I've also been working as a student assistant and tutor for international MA students in American Studies.
All right. With that, I think you already kind of introduced why you're here. And let's just dive into our topic, internationalization, as we said. What do we actually mean by that? Let's start there.
Let's start right at the beginning. So just a side note, perhaps, we're going to keep it really practical, meaning we're going to talk about actually going abroad rather than conceptualizations of an internationalized world, which is also part of American Studies, right?
Yes.
But like I said, we'll stick to the practical stuff.
Yeah, for now, because as American Studies scholar, we cannot not be international, right? First, we have a transnational focus here in Mainz. It's literally the Obama Institute for Transnational American Studies. And then second, we constantly talk about international relationships in a multitude of ways. And this means that we kind of in our program investigate cultural spaces, often through an international viewpoint and from an outside perspective. But since we constantly practice this change of perspective, it would now be interesting for us not only to do that with media objects, but actual spaces, an immersion into a different space. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it does. I mean, that's, in terms of practical experience, as you said, that starts with opportunities to go abroad during your studies for our students at the Obama Institute, but also for our lecturers and researchers. So this is very much interwoven in their daily life and all of our daily lives, right? So we have a lot of Obama fellows coming from abroad. They're, exchange lectures. We have people doing, going on research trips. We have international collaborations for guest lectures and events and much more. And you guys, our listeners will probably have heard of that, right? If you follow our Instagram and you've seen right at the start, I had to draw, but we as a student body are very international as well.
Absolutely. And I do think that combined, the three of us, we have a very wide range of experiences in going abroad, I think, right?
Yeah. We already actually mentioned this in our first season of the show. So it would be interesting to kind of dig deeper into that.
Absolutely.
What we thought in preparation for this episode. And so let's start with our guest. Shall we?
Yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit about your experiences in going abroad, where you've been, and what that's been like for you?
So after I finished high school here in Germany, I went to the US as an au pair. So I lived and worked with an American host family for 2 years. And I was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was really nice. It was during COVID, so it was overall a tough experience, but still very, very nice.
Yeah, that's amazing. Really cool.
Yeah, and we can attest to that. I can personally attest to that your international experience didn't stop there, because you and I, Leah and I, participated in a American Studies summer school, and that was back in 2023, so it's been a while.
Yeah, that's right. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you guys did there and what your experience was like?
So the summer school very generally was concerned with the US South as a region, but also we talked a lot about, for example, the civil rights movement, which I think we'll mention further. And so a body of students, we traveled to the South and then traveled all around. So we got to see everything from like the big city, Nashville, New Orleans experience, to literally rock climbing in rural Arkansas. And now help me. It was a 3.5-week trip, I think, 3 weeks.
Yes, I think 3, yeah.
Yeah, that was the setup a little bit.
Yeah, it was, really a great experience. In that time, we learned a lot about the American South, especially literature. We had some literature classes that were really interesting. We learned a lot about the history and culture, and we had a lot of Southern food.
That is true. So much fried stuff.
Very important.
But it was really nice.
Yeah.
And we visited also so many historical places that we also learned about in our classes. And, for me, visiting them in real life was just really, really cool.
Yeah.
And it definitely broadened my horizon, because there's only so much that you can learn from a book. So just new perspectives gained, and the also opportunity to kind of study independently. For example, if we were to go to museums or just walk around the city, literally, it's still a studying experience if you take everything in and kind of think about contexts. So
Perhaps, so this is a question. And I know we've talked and you've told me about this whole experience off record, but could you just perhaps tell our listeners what is your most cherished memory from that time, or perhaps your biggest takeaway?
Leah, you want to go first?
Yes. So I think one of my favorite memories was going to the National Civil Rights Museum at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, because they actually opened it just for us that day. And for me, it was really special because we took our time to walk through the museum, to read everything, and really to take it all in without having a huge crowd around. And especially because it is also such an important historical place. And actually being there in person was really nice and surreal. And I think that was also my biggest takeaway from the trip, because the trip made so much of the history we study feel way more real and also tangible in a way.
I agree. And I would say for me, I think the most cherished memories are very conversation based, the conversations I had with people. And we went to one museum some other time, and there was an actual freedom rider there who talked about his experience. So that was such a unique opportunity to talk to him and listen to his stories, because I love to hear other people's stories, very generally speaking, but in that context it was even more profound for me, I'd say. So just talking to so many people, and especially those who could give us, a glimpse behind what we have read and studied so far, that was really special for me. But Paulina, you also have some experience going abroad, right? Now that we talked about us. So
what about you?
That was really interesting to hear, you guys. That's right. Mine is pretty recent, actually. So I went to Galway, Ireland for the spring semester of this year. So a little behind the scenes, look behind the curtain for our listeners. So we're recording this episode in May. So I've been back for a month and a half. I left like right after New Year's, and I came back to start my summer semester here in Mainz. So as you can tell from the words I'm throwing around, just to clarify this real quick, Ireland has a spring and a fall semester, just like the US, which is something that you guys might know. So it worked out perfectly for me, actually, because I went to Galway between the German winter and summer semester. It took some organizational effort, but it was very well worth it, obviously.
So, speaking of organizational effort, thank you for that kind of segue.
That was your cue.
A lot of you will probably assume that Paulina went to Galway via the Erasmus Plus program that JGU offers, which, I mean, it would be a solid guess, but you didn't.
Definitely would be a solid guess. And let me just say at this point, this is not like a slag against the Erasmus Plus program is amazing, and do look into that.
I can attest to that because I did that in my bachelor's.
Right.
But
which we should talk.
We're staying with you for the time being.
Right. Yes, unfortunately, it did not work out for me through Erasmus. But yeah, so the University of Galway has its own visiting students program through which I enrolled, which just gave me a lot more flexibility. Yeah, because actually Erasmus spots for Galway and like I think generally for the UK probably aren't available for American Studies students, unfortunately. So little call to action perhaps for anyone who's thinking like, dang, I want to go to this city or this college or university, but there's no like fixed exchange program for that. Do it anyways, or look into it. It's possible if you put your mind to it, because there's extra funding you can apply to even if you're doing this whole thing independently. Because a lot of colleges or external programs, they call this free moving. So if you look that up or inquire at JGU's international office about it, you'll find a lot more information on it. And speaking of the international office that we have here at JGU, they helped me a bunch while organizing my stay in Galway, like in terms of funding and all of that. So they helped pave my way to go there. So huge shout out to them for being a huge support. So they're definitely,
But once you were there, especially as like an American Studies scholar, what were your classes like? Like, tell us a little bit about your experience coming from a not like English literature culture background or Irish culture for that matter.
Definitely. So that's actually something that drew me in when I read about the University of Galway, is that they have this focus on media and like global media, which is something I've been doing. So I've mentioned this on the show before, right? Probably that I minored in audiovisual media and journalism for my undergrad. So this is something that I actually wanted to get further into and also keep as like, the whole skill set that you have and like everything. So I looked into Galway and looked into classes, and that just really helped kind of deepen my knowledge on all of that. I also I took classes in both journalism and media studies, but also political science. I had a really interesting class on like security studies, and I had a history class. So this is kind of what I mean when I say it gave me a lot more flexibility.
Absolutely. And if I understand that all correctly, all your classes are very interdisciplinary. So that really connects very well back to our program here, meaning that even though you come from an American Studies background, you do benefit from an Irish university. And that is also because of our, well, first of all, very interdisciplinary study program, but also just because we're so international. And obviously, if they talk about international issues, so might we.
Oh, definitely, yeah. So this is, to everyone who might think, oh, I'm an American Studies major, I might know, an Irish university or English or whatever.
What am I
a
supposed
European,
to do there?
even a French, there's Erasmus spots perhaps for France or Spain, and you're like, oh, maybe this is not the right fit for me because the only way to go perhaps is to the US or, something else. Literally, you benefit so much from that.
Absolutely.
Still, because the insights that you gain.
Yeah, and I do think that might now be a very, very nice bridge for us to move to the different programs we have here. And coming back to Leah in a second as well. Because one thing, and we have already talked about that, is, of course, summer school. Back then, at least for us, was a great way to gain like a lot of experience in a short amount of time.
Definitely.
Kind of boot camp.
Oh, yeah.
But there are a lot of other course options, and now we do have an expert, so Leah, take it away.
Yeah, so as already teased, for example, you can do, or go on an exchange with the Erasmus program, which is, as, just mentioned, there are options to, not go to the US to study like what we do, but there's also the opportunity to go to other European cities and, study there and explore the field there, what they have to offer. So you can go into countries like France, Italy, or Poland, for example, just to name a few. And I think, as just mentioned, it's a really great way to broaden your horizons and also get out of your comfort zone. And it's not as far away as the US. So there's definitely that option. Another thing that you can do is, of course, do an internship abroad, to gain international work experience, which I think is also a really fantastic way. Yeah, then there's also the German Academic Exchange Service, or the DAAD, as we call it, which offers exchange opportunities for students at, I think, pretty much all academic levels in many countries around the world for up to 2 semesters. And last but not least, there's also the Obama Institute's very own exchange program.
Yes, and that's super interesting for us to talk about, right? So could you just tell us a little bit more about what it is and how people can participate?
So the Obama Institute's exchange program, gives us American Studies students here in Mainz the opportunity to study abroad at one of the Institute's partner universities in the US or Canada, actually. And we have exchange opportunities for both undergraduate and graduate students, and some even include a teaching assistantship. And people, how can you participate? So there's like an info session where you can go to, and then from there start your research, which you need to go to. And
that's a yearly info session, right?
Exactly, yes. And then write an application and off you go.
Perfect. And now this is a special little piece of information.
Speaking of off you go.
You've actually just been accepted into the direct exchange program. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
What was that like?
So I was accepted into the direct exchange program with Bowdoin College in the US state of Maine.
So you're leaving, this episode airs pretty soon, and you're leaving in September of 2026, right?
Yeah, August actually.
August, right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's crazy. So what was that process like of applying, and also perhaps timeline-wise? Like I said, we're recording in May. So when did you start? Like, did you attend the info session? How did it all start?
How did you decide which university you wanted to go to? Because there are a lot of universities.
Yeah. Break it all down for us.
Give us the tea.
As just mentioned, every year in late fall, we have an info session where all the current available exchange programs were presented, and we get to learn about what each university has to offer. So that would be the first step. And then you go there, take it all in, and then you can decide for which university you want to apply for. And I chose Bowdoin College because the program just really spoke to me. And I've always wanted to explore the New England region of the US, which Maine is a part of. And then I had an interview here at the OI with our program coordinators, followed by a written application. And then I heard back in April from them for the result. And now here I am, leaving in a few months.
That is so awesome. So to our listeners out there, if you're an American Studies student here at JGU and at the OI, this is a really cool option to look into.
Yeah, absolutely. But for us, internationalization doesn't end there. Because we also bring all of this to us here to Mainz. Because for one, we always have international lecturers and fellows, of course, here, which is really great to have that intercultural exchange, basically, brought to you on a silver tray. Remember Kim Cotel from last season?
Yes.
We would not have been able to talk to her and make asexuality studies make sense had she not been a part of the lectures exchange with the University of Mississippi. And of course, we also have a number of international students. We mentioned this in the very beginning, that our student body is very diverse in that sense, which leads us back to Leah. Do you see how we do all this? It's all interconnected, you guys.
Very good. That's great. Yeah. So because as she mentioned before when she introduced herself, she works as a student assistant at the Obama Institute and specifically with international students. So let's get into what you actually do at work.
What is your job?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, there are like two parts. So one part is helping prospective international students who are interested in the program, and they contact us and ask like, hey, how do I apply? What's the program about? Or basically any question they might have. I'm going to answer that or try my best to. So that's like step one. And then step two, or the other part, is, being like a tutor for the international students that come here to Mainz and help them with anything they might need. And basically being a student contact person for them, or help them with registering for courses, or any
Show them how the library works.
Exactly, things like that. Do library tours, organize them. And I think the great thing is that in recent years, the number of international students pursuing an American Studies degree here has really increased. And we've had students from more than 15 countries come here.
Wow.
Which makes the whole program really, diverse. And they all bring so many great experiences and insights with them. Yeah. So that's really special.
Such unique perspectives that you can then gain, right?
Yeah.
For sure, yeah. And for the international students coming to Mainz, we also have a preparatory course program, or Präparatorikum in German, which is made out of 3 courses to kind of like integrate them into our master program, because maybe in their home countries, they didn't maybe do exactly what we did in our bachelor's. And so it's just that all are on the same page. We have that to support them. And then from there, they can directly switch over, go to the...
do the masters.
Launch right into the
regular master's program.
Nice. That's awesome.
That's so great. And I think in Mainz specifically, we are very focused on international and intersectional perspectives. So just having a program like this is like beyond exciting. I mean, think about it. Also, like all our episodes leading up to this, in everything we do, whether we analyze the Wild West and all its variations, or literally Twilight and the Vampire Diaries not too long ago, we practice the change of perspective. We consider different points of view as to better understand the complexities of what we look at. So having diverse community of students and teachers, for that matter, of course, just bringing all in different points of view to the table, that adds such an invaluable layer to our program.
Yeah, I think you can really feel that in classes and, in exchange with other students. And I think I can speak for the 3 of us when I say that our different experiences in going abroad have really shaped the way we view not just the world in general, but also, of course, our study program, right? So I bet for you, Leah, it has changed the way you work with international students too, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think my own experiences, abroad really shaped the way I work with them, because I know what it feels like to move to a different country, adapt to a new culture, and basically figure everything out from the start. So I think it really helps me also to relate to their situations, to their experiences when they first arrive here, especially when everything still feels new and overwhelming. And I also know how important it can be to have someone you could reach out to and who understands also what you're going through.
Yeah. And I bet they're really grateful for your support.
Yeah, for the beacon of light.
Oh, McCarthy.
How many weeks ago?
Comeback for
2 weeks ago.
That was crazy.
Thank
All
you.
right. That's amazing.
Listen to the last episode, you guys.
Yeah, so unfortunately that was the perfect tie-in, and now with that we're going to tie a bow around this whole episode, because unfortunately our time is coming to an end.
But
for this
of course, we would never say goodbye without asking Leah the one big question. And I just now see in our script what we have prepared for you, because we do prepare these things, you guys, believe it or not. Bear with us with this question. Off you go,
All right.
Paulina.
So here it goes. If you were an international first semester American Studies student right now, what would you, as yourself, as Leah, the student assistant, tell yourself? Like one piece of advice that sticks with you.
So I think, first of all, don't stress too much in the beginning and, to take in really the whole experiences of going abroad. I mean, moving to a new country and starting university, it is overwhelming at first, but there are a lot of people that are in the exact same situation as you, and you can connect with them and figure it out together. And it really also, helps you to make great friends and form really good connections. And I think what I would also tell myself is don't be afraid to ask questions or reach out for help, because there's always people that are willing to help you. And honestly, take every opportunity you can get, whether, that's traveling, meeting new people, or joining events, because those experiences are really what makes starting abroad so special.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Take that one to the bank, you guys. That's amazing.
We're getting emotional over here.
Slightly.
And with that being done, it's time for us to say goodbye for this episode.
Right. But yeah, as always, not without our
mandatory shout out.
Right. So as I so cleverly teased earlier, you can follow the Obama Institute on Instagram for more fun and educational content and updates on this podcast. And please follow this podcast on whatever platform you listen to it.
Yeah, exactly. And then thank you so much to Leah for coming on the show today and talking to us about internationalization.
Thank you.
If we made you at all curious about the exchange programs we mentioned or the different opportunities, go check out our website. You'll find information there. Don't hesitate to reach out and talk to student advisors as well. Like you just said, right? Don't be afraid to ask questions. And of course, you can always DM us on Instagram if anything comes up on your end.
Exactly.
So, with that, we will talk to you guys soon.
In 2 weeks' time.
In 2 weeks' time.
Right.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Make It Make Sense is the official podcast of the Obama Institute for Transnational American Studies at JGU Mainz, Germany. This podcast is hosted by Marlene Winkler and Paulina Schlosser and edited by Paulina Schlosser. We're recording at the sound studios of the Zentrum für Audiovisuelle Produktion at JGU.
For more information on us, check out our website and don't forget to always keep up with us on Instagram at Obama Institute. Thank you for listening.